England 1, Serbia 0. Gareth Southgate's side get off to the perfect start at Euro 2024. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. We're talking a reaction to England's 1-0 victory over Serbia to kick off their Euro 2024 campaign. Jude Bellingham with the only goal of the game to give Gareth Southgate the dream start to the European Championships in Germany this summer. But that is where my praise pretty much ends for this England side. Look, before we go any further, do me a favour, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. Hit the comment section as well. Use and abuse that comment section, people. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it on England's performance and result tonight against Serbia. But for me personally, look, I'm not Gareth Southgate's biggest fan. There is no agenda here. What I'm going to say is, based on what I saw tonight, England, look, this may just be the first game in the Championship. And that very well could be that. But from what I saw tonight, if that is to continue going forward, England won't win this tournament purely based on what I saw tonight. Because what I saw tonight was the same mistakes that Southgate has made in previous tournaments. Look, for the first opening half an hour or so, I thought England were excellent. I thought Bellingham was superb. I thought Declan Rice was insanely good. I thought Bukayo Saka down that right-hand side was dangerous. He was a thorn in that fullback, that wing-back side throughout the entirety of the first half. I thought Trent Alexander-Arnold, despite the fact that obviously he was playing in a bit more of an unnatural position to him, actually had a decent game, barring one very big mistake. And apart from that, I thought we were excellent. Harry Kane, non-existent. Gehi playing his first European Championship game, I thought was brilliant at centre-back. I thought John Stones was okay. Kyle Walker down that right-hand side, linking up with Trent and linking up with Saka as well, I thought actually did a fairly decent job as well. I thought it was a decent 30 minutes or so for England. I really, really did. And we get the opening goal. A nice bit of play down that right-hand side. Walker feeds in Saka. Saka's deflected cross. And Bellingham, with perfect timing, arrives in the penalty area to head the ball home. I thought it was a very good start by England. I really, really did. And then old habits crept into England's game. They dropped off. This England team dropped off when they went 1-0 up. They let Serbia back into the game in the final 10 minutes or so of the first half. And then throughout the second half, they were less intense. There was less tempo to the game. There was less creativity. Harry Kane was being sucked more into the midfield, which didn't allow us any sort of outlet. And even then, he only had 2 touches in the first half. It was a weird sort of way and reaction to going 1-0 ahead. Rather than stand on Serbia's throats and not let up, we just decided that 1-0 was enough to take with us. And against better opposition, I fear we would have got found out. If we're going to go up against the likes of Portugal, France, maybe even Spain, Germany even, in this tournament, playing like that, if that's our hopes of getting that far in the tournament to play those kinds of teams, we can't play like we did tonight. Because that way of playing, we will get found out by those teams. We're lucky tonight, it was a group stage game against Serbia. And Serbia, they grew into the game and they got better as the game progressed. But they weren't that good at holding the ball. They weren't that strong defensively. And I feel like if we had a bit more of a killer instinct in us, we probably would have killed the game off a lot more than what we did. We didn't. And the longer it stayed 1-0, the more nervy it got. And it got more nervy purely through our own doing. It didn't need to be that nervy towards the end of the game. It really, really didn't. And again, that's why I feel like we won't win this tournament. Because against better opposition, that have been there before, done it before, they'll pick us apart. They will pick us apart. Wasn't all doom and gloom. Like I say, I thought Bellingham was excellent. I thought Saka was really good. I thought Declan Rice was insanely good in the middle of the pitch. But there were some poor performances as well. Mainly from a certain Harry Kane and Phil Foden. Now, I could argue that Foden's best position is through the middle. I don't think his best position is on that left-hand side. So, I can maybe give Foden a little bit of leeway in this. I can say, maybe his best position is through the middle. It's not necessarily on the left. I think he maybe should have played Anthony Gordon there for balance, because our left-hand side was pretty much non-existent. When you play Kieran Trippier as an inverted left-back, because you don't have any natural left-back there, or a fully fit left-back there, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle, and I feel like that may come back to bite us the later we go on in the tournament, if obviously Luke Shaw's not going to be fully fit and we don't have a natural left-back. But the fact of the matter is that Foden wasn't great either. Harry Kane had 2 touches in that first half. One was a flick on. One was, I think, a one-touch pass. He had nothing else in that first half. Second half goes on. Okay, he's a little bit unlucky. He hits the post. He also performs a very good defensive header at the other end as well. But with those 2 exceptions aside, the guy was non-existent. I forgot for a large portion of the game that he was even playing. I thought we were down to 10 men and we were just playing with a false number 9 in Jude Bellingham. I don't know what the plan was for him. He was getting sucked more into the midfield as the game wore on. He was trying to play the sort of Erling Haaland role of being on the last defender for a large part, but then got drawn more into the midfield. And that was at a time where we needed him to be on the last man, because Serbia were getting on top. Serbia were actually putting England a little bit under the cosh a little. And we needed that sort of outlet of Harry Kane to be on the last man, and he just wasn't there. He just wasn't there. It was a little strange to me the way that we obviously tried to manoeuvre Harry Kane into this team. And I was thinking that, maybe the substitutions should have come earlier. Maybe the substitution should have been different. Maybe we should have actually chosen to play an Ivan Toney or an Ollie Watkins up front instead of Harry Kane. But of course it's Harry Kane, so of course he's not going to ever come off the pitch. Look, England got away with it tonight. There's no doubt in my mind they get away with it. There's much room for improvement going forward. But as I've said time and time again, I don't trust the manager. I don't trust in anything that he's tried to do in the build-up to this tournament, in previous tournaments. And tonight, I think I have seen enough to say he has not learnt from his past mistakes. When Serbia are there for the taking, when the game is there to be killed off, he drops. And he lets his team drop. Why? You were dominant for the first half an hour. Serbia were just kicking the ball upfield and you were just retrieving the ball and going again. But you dropped off and you allowed them back into the game and they started to get a bit more joy. Jordan Pickford made a couple of decent saves to stop Serbia from getting anything in the game. But for me, we should have had the game done and dusted. We should have had the game won much earlier than what we did. And we didn't. We messed around too much. We played around too much. And in the end, we got away with it. Like I say, we got away with it. If it had been against stronger opposition, maybe we wouldn't have done. And that's what makes me think that when we get into those knockout stages, because, the likelihood is that we should. I watched Denmark and Slovenia earlier. They're going to be no pushovers, of course they're not, but we still should make it into the knockout stages. When we do get into those knockout stages and we do start facing some of the more bigger teams in this competition, we're going to struggle. Again. And the mistakes of Southgate in previous major tournaments, I don't think he will rectify. I don't think he will learn from. And that's why I think we will not win this tournament. We get away with it. Bellingham's goal was absolutely fantastic. I 100% I agree with that. I thought for the first half an hour, England were pretty much dominant and perfect. But after that half an hour, that's where things started to somewhat fall apart for me. Somewhat fall apart. And like I say, I think there needs a lot of work on. I think he needs to think about his personnel in future games. Trent Alexander-Arnold in midfield. Look, I don't think he had a bad game tonight. I don't think he had an amazing game. I don't think he had a bad game. I think it works against certain opposition. And I think for that first half, it worked because Serbia couldn't keep hold of the ball. And Serbia were just second favourite to every ball that was going through that midfield. And I think it worked for Trent because he was allowed to get on the ball a bit more. I think it will work maybe for Slovenia as well. Denmark might be a little trickier. But, like I say, it's a situational thing. It's a situational thing. If you're in a situation where you need some creativity in that midfield, Trent's your man. If you're in a situation where you need a bit more physicality in there, you need a bit more awareness in that middle of the pitch, Trent maybe not your guy. But Trent can be pulled at right back for Kyle Walker. Just saying. That left side of England just doesn't work. Declan Rice is just better as a number 6. Staying in the centre, putting out fires. Perfect. Kieran Trippier as an inverted left back. Again, works against teams like Serbia. May not work for teams that have a dangerous right winger. A dangerous overload on that right hand side of the pitch. Phil Foden playing on that left wing may not work going forward. It may also not work defensively. There are a few things that I think Gareth Southgate needs to look at, needs to change. But as we've seen from the past several years of him being in charge, he's going to do his own thing and he's going to try and fit these square pegs in these round holes. For no apparent reason other than to try and cram these players into a team that he can't physically cram them into. That's just my take on the England side. Look, at the end of the day, England get the win. And in tournament football, that's all you can really do. By hook or by crook, no matter what happens in some way, shape or form, you just have to get the win. And I respect and I understand that. And that's what England did tonight. England get the win. They get the 3 points. They get their tournament up and running. Bellingham gets on the score sheet. They get a clean sheet. Overall, just on the surface of it, it's a perfect night for England. But you scratch that surface a little bit, and I think there are underlying problems there that the likes of France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, they're going to likely exploit. And, depending on who we get in the competition, because, let's face it, this competition so far, I've enjoyed this competition so far. The irony being is that England game was probably the worst game of the tournament so far. That's probably the irony of it. That's probably the worst game of the tournament so far, in my personal opinion. And that's from the tournament favourites. The tournament favourites just produced the worst game of the tournament so far. I know we're only 3 days in, but there's already been, 7 matches. Worst game of the tournament so far. And they were very unconvincing, in my personal opinion. Look, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings of this guy. I don't know what you guys think. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Maybe you'll say to me, Fletch, you're being a bit harsh. Maybe I am, but I just don't see it personally happening myself. Yeah. Look, England get the win. It's a good start on paper. A lot of room for improvement. A long way to go, of course, but England get the 3 points. It will tide them over until the next game. On the other side for Serbia, it won't be too damaging for them. I think they'll take a lot of positives from the way that they obviously ended the game rather than began the game. And I think from their point of view as well, also seeing the likes of Denmark and Slovenia both battle to a 1-1 draw earlier on in the day, it's obviously not the end of the world for them. It's not like one of those two teams won as well and now they're having to play properly catch up. They very well could claw it back in the next game if they are to obviously take the positives from this one into the next one. So it's not the end of the tournament for them either, but it does put England in a very good position, seeing their other two rivals draw earlier on today and then them to beat Serbia. So a very good start to the tournament overall for Gareth Southgate's side, but a lot of room for improvement going forward. Like I say, guys, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of England's performance and result tonight in the 1-0 victory over Serbia to kick off their Euro 2024 campaign? Let me know what you guys think, feel. Your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, will make for great and interesting reading down below. So please do get involved, use and abuse that comment section to your will. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way. If you enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always incredibly greatly appreciated. Get involved in, like I said, get involved in the comment section as well. All of that stuff, greatly appreciated. Otherwise, thanks everyone for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. Speak to you all again very, very soon.